Hey guys, David here over at the CrystaLac company again, and we wanted to have a conversation this morning about a question we get asked a lot here at the CrystaLac company, and that's application process of top coats, paints, stains, just all types of finishing products. So one thing that we always recommend, and I know a lot of other manufacturers do, is thin coats. And when I'm talking thin coats, for those of you that are familiar with the coating processes and so on, we're talking 1 to 2 wet mil is the most product that you need, because it's so very important to build those layers of protection when you're using your finish. Again, whether it's a product like our Extreme Protection polyurethane, or our DIY paint, our Flippin' Awesome paint that's going to be released very soon, you've got to be sure that you're not trying to build a coat. Now, when using a quality product with super high solids, you don't have to use so much product. A lot of folks have the misconception that putting a lot of product on with their brush or their sprayers, giving it that protection, and they can get away with 1 coat or 2 coats. A lot of folks don't think about 3 coats. Had a conversation with a woodworker some time back, and he had spent a year on this masterpiece piece of reproduction furniture. And I asked him, I said, how long did it take you to build this? And I mean, this thing was beautiful. All the lines were perfect. Not a piece of metal or steel or a screw or anything like that in this. It was all woodworking. The drawers slid perfectly. And I asked him, how long did you work on this piece of furniture? And he said, oh, it took me a year consistent work to finish it, or to get it built. And I said, how long did you spend finishing the project? Because the finishing had a lot to be desired. You know, it wasn't that very good a job. And he said, oh man, it took me like 2 days. And so he'd spent a year building the project, but he had it in his mind that he needed to be able to finish it in a day or 2. So the first thing you see with a finish when you're looking at a piece of furniture or something, the first thing that you see is the finish, and then you start noticing the details and things. So it's very important to do it right, and that's where thin coats come in. Again, whether you're spraying or brushing. So I'm going to give you an example of what a thin coat looks like. It's going to dry a lot quicker. It's going to give you a time to see if there's any adhesion issues without doing a great big thick coat and using half the product that you're using. Just a lot of benefits of doing those thin coats. So I'm going to start off. Now you can see here that on this little cabinet door we had primed it, and I think we've actually got one of our top coats over top of it. It's probably Extreme Protection, but we used the Universal White paint base and primer and tinted it gray, and then top coated it with some Extreme Protection. I think there's a couple of coats on there, but I'm going to use this just to give you an example of what a thin coat looks like. And I'm just going to put a little bit of our paint here on the brush and kind of give you a little, I got a little drip there, kind of give you an example. And this also aids in the leveling of the product. A little bit more. So really helps out. You can see how nice and smooth and easy that goes on. Great coverage. You know, when you're doing thin coats, sometimes 2 coats is really necessary. Just a little more there on the bottom. Just like that. Kind of brush it out, and you can see when you're using a quality product, you don't need a big, thick, heavy coat on it. Again, water cleanup. You don't need a big, thick, heavy coat on it to start building those layers. Now with this, I've got great coverage. There's going to be really good adhesion on that because there's no wax or silicone present, no hamburger grease or anything like that. But again, the thin coats is really important in making sure you've got good coverage, and We'll give that a couple of hours to dry and put another coat over top of it. With quality products, you're not having to sand between coats and things like that. Now, that's a paint. Same thing with clear top coats or tinted top coats. Now, we have a tinting line of products, pigments here called CrystaLac, that you can tint the top coats or the paint base or our grain filler or whatever. You can tint those. But again, no matter the top coat, no matter the finish, thin coats. I know you're going to get sick here. But like the finish on this guitar, you can see that's put on with a foam brush. Now, it could, stand a little level sanding and buffing out, but just a foam brush and our Bright Tone instrument finish, 2 hours in between coats, and those super thin coats, and you get just an awesome finish. And I'm going to show you, this is our Extreme Protection Polyurethane. Now you guys are hearing about it. It's super popular. UV protection built into it. But again, now I've got one coat on this little piece of Purple Heart here. Love this wood. But I'm going to show you what a coat looks like. And it's really important also when using water-based finishes, or in my opinion, any finish, whether you're spraying or brushing. But when you are brushing, dip and drip. Dip and drip. Don't wipe your brush on the side of the cans. You've heard me say it before. It'll cause excessive bubbles. You're forcing air into the brush. And don't wipe on the side ever. No need. Just dip and drip. Put your little product on. Super thin coat, long even strokes when possible. You'll have a few lines, but with a quality product, all those are going to come out. You can see the using the light pressure technique. I'm just basically using the weight of the brush. I'm not applying any pressure to it whatsoever. Use those thin coats. And over a couple hours dry time, that's going to all level out and all the bubbles and everything's going to come out of it. And you're going to have just an awesome finish there. 3 coats minimum is what I recommend. Some folks do 2. When you're doing a tabletop, high traffic area, bar top, 3-4 coats minimum. Go all the way up as many coats as you want to keep it building that additional depth if you like. And always give it that time between coats to dry. Let the product work. Manufacturers put a lot of technology into these products and they want it to work for you. I know we do here at the CrystaLac company. And one point that I did miss, when using the thin coats, I know you see all these videos on Facebook and Instagram. They've got the piece laid out level, like my piece of Purple Heart here, and they put a big heaping, thick, heavy coat of product on there, and it just looks all smooth and everything. Well, that's why you're dealing with a level they're on a level surface, and they'll get the benefits of that level surface. But like you see here on the paint that I just put on this, the thin coat is essential in preventing those runs and sags. So I know I kind of jumped around a lot today. As I say, we're not video creators or media experts, but we do make awesome finishes. So again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us on Facebook at the CrystaLac Company, our website, CrystaLac.info, or just give us a call here, area code 423-727-6425, and we'll be glad to answer any of those questions for you that you may have, whether it's our products or maybe someone else's that you're having some issues with. We'll be glad to help you. So once again, thanks for taking a look at our video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you later.